I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
The Warriors are entering the 2019-20 NBA season in a new era for the franchise, according to many people. As they move into a new arena, they have a new lineup to go with it. After a disappointing playoff run, soured further by injuries, the Warriors are lost to the Raptors in the finals in 6 games and would then lose their biggest star, Kevin Durant, in the off-season. Thankfully, they got young star DAngelo Russell in return, but it's obvious this roster is not as overpowering or frightening as it used to be. But with that all being said, I still think the dynasty era of the Warriors isn't over, as many would like to suggest, and I'll be going over why I think that in today's video. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Until the playoffs, the Warriors had a brilliant season last year. They were consistently on top of the Western Conference standings and didn't let up. Durant was playing phenomenally. He was destroying every team he faced. Everything was great for the Warriors until the playoffs hit. After a dominating first round, Durant looked set to blitz the Rockets but was devastated by a calf injury. And whilst Curry did lift the load for the next 5 games, the Warriors clearly struggled in the finals. Durant did his Achilles, Klay did his ACL, Looney got injured too. It was a nightmare for Golden State. They went into the offseason as runner-ups, and as we all know, lost Durant to the Brooklyn Nets, yet managed to grab DAngelo Russell in return, which I think was a pretty good deal. And yes, even though Durant is gone and D'Lo will be a downgrade for the Warriors, I don't think Golden State will have too many major problems next season. Steph Curry proved that KD's absence was not a problem for 5 straight games. After going scoreless in the first half versus the Rockets in Game 6, he went off in the second half to carry the Warriors to an unprecedented victory. They went on to sweep the Blazers, and Curry was the heart and soul of that dominating series. All of that is without Durant. But how will this team win it all next season? What players will make up the star core to take them all the way, and who needs to step up for it to happen? As I mentioned, the guy that will need to do most of the work is Stephen Curry, if the Warriors really want to go on to win it all next season. I think that Curry could have a similar season to 2016, not in the fact that they win 73 games, but have another phenomenal statistical season like 2016. He could definitely average numbers like 30 points per game, 6 to 7 assists, great efficiency, things like that. He is my tip for the MVP. We saw what he did in the playoffs without Durant. He was going crazy. After going scoreless versus the Rockets in Game 6, he dominated the second half and led the Warriors to a series-clinching win. In the next round, the Western Conference Finals, he led 4 straight 10-point deficit comebacks to sweep the Portland Trail Blazers, which was just amazing. Many expected a much closer series than what it turned out to be, and the reason why it became a sweep was due to Curry's elite performances throughout. His only problem was when he ran into Kawhi, but the Warriors were injured and he still had a fantastic series if you look at the stats. He did all he could. Particularly look at Game 5 when he took charge after KD did his Achilles, and as well as Game 3, where though the Warriors didn't win, he still dropped 47 points. So, Curry has proved he can dominate without Durant there, and I expect him to do the same thing this upcoming season. Like I also mentioned a bit earlier, the Warriors managed to luck out and score DAngelo Russell this off-season. DAngelo is going to contribute fantastically, I believe, next season, and should fit in really well with the Warriors and alongside Stephen Curry. He was an all-star last season, an elite scorer and good shooter, and should work well with Curry as an off-ball player in a Klay Thompson type role, until the injured star returns. One thing that he offers that Klay can't though is close to elite ball handling, And this means when Curry tires out, Russell can be the main ball handler for parts of games. And I'm not trying to say he's going to steal Klay Thompson's role when he's out, but he will need to have a similar type of impact to help the team. And before we move on to the next guy who will help the Warriors, I've got to talk about something on the topic of DAngelo. I'm starting to see more and more people believe that Russell should be traded off the team once Klay returns, which I think is ridiculous. The only reason why the Warriors should even consider trading D'Lo is if he continuously fails to perform well alongside Curry, but that shouldn't even be an issue. If he does have problems with him, he can easily be a six-man player for the Warriors, which could help some of the depth concerns, but even that's unlikely. I just don't think it would be a smart move at all for the Warriors to trade Russell. That's just my opinion though. Let me know yours on this conversation down in the comments below, but let's move on to the next player. And the next player is Klay Thompson. Even though Thompson suffered an ACL injury, which is a pretty significant one, I don't think it will affect him nearly as badly compared to what it would have done to a guy like Russell Westbrook. Klay Thompson does not need athleticism to succeed. He just runs and spot-up shoots. This ACL tear won't limit him in any way. He barely ever dunks or is a main rim protector looking for big blocks. He doesn't have a massive vertical, so I'm going to guarantee you he will be fine and should return just as good or better than he was originally. Klay has a fire inside of himself now. We all saw it when he seemingly refused to go off after his ACL injury in the finals. He shot the free throws and stayed on and was ready to play defense. He comes back in February, which is good because it allows plenty of time for him to gel back into the Warriors system and get their rhythm flowing. Don't worry about Klay, he's going to be fine, and I fully expect him to work perfectly with Curry and new teammate D'Lo in the backcourt. Draymond Green had a pretty shocking season for the most part. He was never really into the game like he used to be, always complaining about the refs, opponents, and even his teammates. For example, the little beef he had with Durant during the season. But as noticed during the playoffs, Green has changed. He has spoken out on how he realized about his poor attitude and complaining and has regretted it completely, and ever since, we saw a change in his game. He looked like he was playing at that elite level that won him Defensive Player of the Year, mainly during the Western Conference Finals and a bit in the actual finals. Obviously, he needs to improve his shooting a lot so that he doesn't become a liability on that end, but with that all being said, I can definitely picture a return of All-Star caliber Draymond Green this season. A player the Warriors lost this offseason that I forgot to mention earlier was DeMarcus Cousins, but I'm not too worried about his absence. He wasn't great in the finals and apart from one game, played pretty horribly throughout. However, the Warriors won't be short at the center position as they signed Willie Cauley-Stein, who is an extremely solid player. In 27 minutes of action last season for the Kings, Cauley-Stein averaged 11 and 8 on 55% field goal shooting. He's nothing amazing, but he's certainly not trash and is a great pickup by the Warriors. He should be a good contributor for them. If I'm being honest, it might be good Kevin Durant left. It seemed that he held Curry back a bit and also seemed a bit toxic towards the latter part of his stay in Golden State. Obviously, it's hard for me to judge, but after all these interviews he's done recently, where he's kind of been bad-mouthing Golden State, I don't know, it just seems like a positive that he's gone. Also, everyone seems to forget how good the Warriors were before KD joined. They went 73-9, that can't be overlooked. Obviously, the chances of that happening again are extremely slim, but if the playoffs last season showed us anything, Curry could have an MVP season. Draymond could return to being All-Star caliber. Klay is ready to return and dominate. I've seen people putting this team as low as the 7th seed in their standings predictions, which is so disrespectful. This team is going to be really good, and if I'm being honest, could be the biggest underdogs for the NBA championship next season. Everyone is acting like the dynasty is over, all of that, but I think they have another chance. A new era is about to start for Golden State, and I have a feeling it's going to be a very positive one. Don't doubt the Warriors. We've seen what happens when we do. But that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? Could the Warriors win it all to you? How far will they get in the playoffs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.